G'day, recording this video on Sunday, the 9th of April 2023, just gone 4:54 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So, time for another weekend futures market recap where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I am seeing on my charts. Last week we had a shortened trading week because of Easter Friday, and next week we're going to have a shortened trading week because of Easter Monday. And last week not much kind of went on with the exception of the gap up move in crude oil on Sunday night, and I'll show you that chart in a second. But generally we kind of settled back on a lot of futures markets as we kind of took profits with the moves that we've had over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to go through the Emini charts first, all the way down from the daily chart to the tick bar charts, and then we'll go through the tick bar charts with the signals for each of the futures markets. So start off with the daily chart of the Emini here, the traditional view of the better indicators, where we've got two panels side by side, everything to do with volume on the left hand side with better momentum and better pro-am, everything to do with price on the right hand side with better sine wave. You can see as of a couple of weeks ago saying we were going to be caught by this support in the intermediate time frame on the daily time chart here, and we've rallied pretty strongly since then. We're in an uptrend because we've got the background printed in red, which means both on a volume basis and a price basis we're in an uptrend in both of those indicators. And so yep, we had a couple of days of kind of weakness and we finished pretty strong on Thursday, and Friday's activity was unusually kind of high volume. We kind of traded up as well, so we're up at 4,132. It's an amateur bar on the Thursday. I guess that was probably because of shortened trading, not much volume kind of going through on the Thursday. And we've also got a flush pattern that kind of signaled this week, which means that we've had a little bit of a blip in terms of volume and buying at that stage. So we've kind of settled that back a little bit. So if we back it down to the 135-minute chart here, definitely in an uptrend here. You can see the background here nicely printed in red. We've got support on the highest time frame there, which is important. So this has to run itself out from support to resistance on the highest time frame on this chart. So that has come in and kind of signaled the support down here, and we need these two lines to go back up to 100 plus 100 and to cross before this kind of move is done on the way up. And you can see here the reason why we settled back a little bit this week was because last week's activity was led by the amateurs with a Rambo pattern there right at the highs, and that means all of that activity is lower than average trade size, which indicates amateur activity, and they're kind of pushing those highs. We've just had a little bit of profit taking from there. Not too worried about that. This is the kind of area, if we broke the lows of that kind of amateur sequence there, that would be important, either kind of around here or down here. That would show that that was amateurs being wrong-footed at this stage, and the trend is actually kind of on the way down. But we've also broken above resistance on the low and the intermediate time frames here with white solid lines there, or dotted lines there. So we're in an uptrend. We're above these lines, so we've got to go make pullback to end of trend probably again, at least on the lowest time frame here. So we're still in an uptrend and we're just kind of consolidating a little bit. 45-minute chart, same thing. We're above these two lines, which is important. So because we're above this solid line on the 45-minute chart, this has got to go pull back to end of trend on this highest time frame here. Yep, a little bit of profit taking because we had a flush pattern, which just means we had a bit of excess volume kind of going through here. We've just settled down for a little bit, but support's kind of come in here. Go down to the 15-minute chart, you can see that last week and into Monday's activity, the solid yellow vertical lines show the beginning and the ends of the week. So last week we had a really nice strong week. This week we've just settled back, a little bit of profit taking here because the professionals stepped in here, and we're just consolidating beneath that resistance there. So this has got to play itself out to pull back to end of trend, and we might get an exhaustion pattern. So I'm expecting we'll continue to press higher this week, and we'll get some kind of a exhaustion pattern with more blue professional bars at the highs. That's just initial profit taking potentially. And if we get through 63s, we might generate those kind of exhaustion stop running type activity where we'd have an exhaustion pattern. Right, so just as I'm recording this, the market's opened. It's 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. You can see here all this activity that we had on Thursday night and Friday generated kind of blue professional bars, and we traded up to above the 4140 level there. So that was kind of interesting, and we've continued to go in an uptrend on the tick bar chart here. The support's kind of come in. We've got to play this thing out. Yep, that was kind of the peak of the market Monday, Tuesday here, and then we kind of sold off a little bit. Still expecting the equities market to keep kind of trading higher. until we see kind of an exhaustion pattern on the high side and blue professional bars at those highs, and maybe those patterns will be generated by stop runs kind of above 41.60. So there we go. That's what's happening on the E-mini. Let's have a look. Ooh, so these markets have all opened, and that's gold just kind of trailing down pretty hard, and Bitcoin going up 28,500 at the moment. So normally I get this video recorded by the time the futures markets open on a Sunday night, so things are going to be moving around a little bit. But let's go through the Forex charts first, starting with the Euro. This is last week's activity. We had a pretty severe sell-off Sunday night into Monday, and then we kind of rallied higher, and then we generated a signal kind of short midweek, and you can see all those blue professional bars coming in at 110 there, and we've kind of traded down, and we've come back up, generated another sign of weakness there under the lip here on the Euros. So the Euro's looking weak at the moment, as are I think most of the Forex contracts. So British pound, same thing. We had all of these signals, signs of weakness up here. Whole bunch of blue professional bars came in at 125. We didn't have an exhaustion pattern here at these highs or a bearish divergence, so that's why I've not had a triple signal there, but it's looking weak at that point. Blue professional bars kind of come in here. But anyway, in my mind, that's in a downtrend because we're below the trailing stop on Beta Pro Am. Aussie dollar, same thing, midweek, couple of signals here, nice at those highs. Not a huge bunch of blue professional bars up there, but it is kind of trading weaker at the moment. That's a stair-step trade here where we don't have blue professional bars at the lows. We come back up on the test, and there's the blue professional bars kind of step in, and we continue with the downtrend there. So that's Aussie dollar kind of weak at the moment. And Japanese yen, same thing, signal midweek with Japanese yen. We rallied from here. No signal down at the lows because we didn't have exhaustion sell. There weren't a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of down here getting in. So on the retrace here, these are blue professional bars kind of pushing the market up, then getting short at this point here and kind of trading down. So all of the Forex contracts are weak. So that means the USD is strong. Let's go to the E-mini here. So this was the pattern last week. We had this beautiful signal 2 weeks ago on the Friday, kind of came in here and we rallied super hard up here, and then we just took profits Sunday, Monday there into those highs, and we've weakened from there. But that's the activity on Friday. It's a bit unusual to see all those blue professional bars there, ostensibly on a holiday trading day. So that's the E-mini at the moment, and the 10-year. Yeah, the 10-year is weakened. So these are the signals last week for the 10-year. We came into those lows, nice exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, flush pattern, whole bunch of blue professional bars coming in and in and in. And then we had this pattern here with blue professional bars getting the move going. And then on the Sunday evening, they kind of crashed the market, but then they used that opportunity to buy it up, and bang, we've had a nice rally since. It's weakened at the moment after these blue professional bars kind of came in here, but it's not generated a sell signal because we didn't have exhaustion buy at the highs, bearish divergence, and so on. So not convinced that we're in a downtrend per se with the 10-year, but we're definitely weakening at the moment. So that's the 10-year. Then gold and silver took profits there. So we had last week's activity was a big rally into those highs, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, blue professional bars coming in and then selling it down at that point. That's a bit of a U-turn here, and then we've kind of signaled as soon as those lows of those blue professional bars kind of came in. So gold's weak at the moment, profit taking happening there. Silver, same thing. We had a signal midweek with that market. Not a whole bunch of blue professional bars, but it's kind of following gold there, and sold off a little bit. So this open bar, with trading Sunday evenings kind of trade, it's super thin trading, so you can move around these prices quite quickly with relatively small kind of volume. So just is a little bit kind of volatile given the thin trading happening there. But we've got some weakness in gold and silver happening at the moment. Bitcoin. Bitcoin last week, you were pretty range bound. We had blue professional bars up here at the 29,000 kind of take profits, and then they step back in at 27,000 kind of down here. And we've been just basing a little bit over the last couple of days here. We've got exhaustion sell, bullish divergence come in, and we've kind of broken above the trailing stop, and the blue professional bars kind of come in here. So let's see if Bitcoin kind of makes a run for 30,000 this week. And then crude, this was the move that was exciting last week. This all set up 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, with all these triple signals going off kind of down here, down at 65. And the market, pushed hard to test there and then rallied. And then this was the gap open that we had on the Sunday night last week. I was talking about the signals that we'd had on crude, and that was kind of really generated from the news from Saudi Arabia that they were going to be cutting production by, I think, 500,000 barrels a day. Anyway, I don't follow the news per se on any of these markets, but just look at the signals that we had here, that the professionals knew something was going on. 65 was going to be a good time to jump in, and they've driven it up. Yep, they took profits there up above 80. Blue professional bars came in on that kind of gap up move. It's just been basing the entire week, so we have to wait and see where the next time the professionals kind of step in and see what Better Pro-Am kind of does. Let's see if we get a bit of a sell-off. The professionals step in and they push it up above 80, whatever, here and start generating exhaustion buy signals there. So that was exciting on crude. Natural gas keeps on pushing down and down and down. We had this trade here, or the signal kind of last week here, but there weren't a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of down here, so that one failed. And then we went through $2 this week here. A whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of came in midweek at 215. We've sold it down. We've not had exhaustion sell down here. These were kind of exhaustion sells, almost getting the move going there. And so natural gas is weak at the moment, although at some point, psychologically the $2 level is super important. And copper pretty weak this week. So last week we had signals kind of at the end of the week here, a sign of weaknesses kind of going on here, and the sell-off continued here. Now, no blue professional bars at the low here, although there was an exhaustion pattern, and so when we came back up, the professionals stepped in here. Not too worried about that bar there, but at $4 and just above $4 here, the professionals are definitely in, shorting again at that point. So let's see if we kind of crack through 390 this week on copper, and that this moves kind of continues down. Again, just be wary of Sunday night trading. Super thinly traded here. It's like you can't say just because that's one strong bar happening at the moment that kind of trend move is done on the way down. So I'd look for the $4 level to be broken again kind of early next week, and these lows of 390 to be tested on copper. So ags, corn. At the moment, kind of weak. We've got all these white bars kind of going on here. No signals on corn last week or this week, but it is weak. Soybeans, weak again. Yep, so we had some signals beginning of the week here. That's better with exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. Blue professional bars, those highs, bang, and we sold off pretty hard here. So we're in a downtrend on soybeans, and I think the same for wheat as well. Yep. All this exhaustion buy, blue professional bars at those highs. The reason it did not signal there last week was we never had a bearish divergence pattern. So we need, like this low was made with exhaustion sell, bullish divergence comes in, and then we're allowed to signal. We had exhaustion buy but no bearish divergence, and then it immediately signaled exhaustion sell as they were selling that move down super hard, kind of retraced under the lip, bang, we've kind of continued down. So there we go. Not sure what to say about next week. It'll be a shortened kind of trading week. I think we've got FOMC notes kind of coming out. Still kind of bullish on equities, kind of medium term. So there's nothing obvious on those charts to see that there's something kind of setting up for Monday, Tuesday of this week yet. But we'll keep kind of watching and see what happens. Anyway, I hope your trading is going well, enjoying a long weekend, and looking forward to next week's trade.